Hello, everybody. How y'all doing today? Let me just start with a real calm beginning of what is it? Episode 53. Episode 53, ladies and gentlemen, of the Made in Dreams podcast. We are here today with Notre Damin. Is it Notre Damin? Because I always want to say it that way, or do you say it Notre
Yeah,
Damin?
it's actually my real name is Damin, so it's Notre Damin. You can say Notre, Notre. You can say that, however, but the Damin is actually the part that
Notre
I correct
Damin.
people on.
All right. Yeah. I've had you on before, and I always say it because it makes me want to say it that way. But
However you say it is fine.
all right. Well, welcome the birthday boy and show him love in chat because he is 1 year older this year and
Yes, getting
today.
old.
How old are you,
Yeah,
if you don't mind me asking?
29 years old.
Oh,
Yeah,
you goddamn
getting old.
youngin', get out of here! Ain't nobody.
There's I'm not the only dreamer with a birthday today. We got some pillars of the dreams community that share a birthday. It's
Ooh.
All Star. It's All Star's birthdays today, so
Ah,
be
happy
sure to
birthday,
go
All
out there
Star.
and wish him a happy birthday. And Sauceless One, the legendary Sauceless One's birthday is
Damn.
also today. So
He's
I wish those
surrounded
guys
by
a happy
greatness.
birthday. Yeah, I'm
Surrounded
lucky.
by
What
greatness.
what a what
It's
a
hard to
way to
keep up.
celebrate.
I can't. I'm not like yeah.
Well, so, and of course, joined like I am every week by Jamie James. I'm not even going to throw a nickname on there today. You got to keep them guessing. You got to keep them guessing. So,
I was expecting so much and I received nothing. I kind of feel disappointed.
oh God. For a second, I thought your internet went out.
Oh no. No, no. I'm still here.
You
Uh,
turned into a robot halfway at the end.
oh
It's like I'm
no.
disappointed.
I am slowly getting there with my 20 megabytes a second. We should be able to just creep through this episode.
Ew.
I know. I know.
That's so ill. And
I, I,
anyway,
I want to move just for better internet alone. Like that's the sole purpose of moving. It's just for better internet.
indeed.
Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
go ahead, Noah.
Oh, I was just say I feel that I got decent internet now, but I didn't used to.
Yeah, I don't move places where I can't get it. That's like the one thing that has to work for me. It's like I have to be able to get the fastest speed that's reasonable because if not, I get angry. The first time I can't connect on something, that's when I call. That's when I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
I mean,
When's the
it's
next
so
joint?
important. It's like it
I
normally used to be the school district. Like, is it in a good school district? No. Does it have good internet? That's all that matters now.
well, I
Boom
used
and
to live in an
party.
area with good internet, but I was living on a budget, so I had to borrow my neighbor's internet, and so I couldn't complain
Mm.
about the quality of the internet 'cause
Bro,
they
get your
were
internet
sharing.
fixed. You're messing up.
My Netflix won't load.
What you doing over there? So anyway, let's get on with the show. Wow. So because Chad is already having a good time. Well, yeah, it's good. So tell me, Notre, how's dreams treating you these days?
It's treating me good. I got. I've mentioned before that I got a little discouraged because we didn't get a lot of updates for a while. But it's looking bright, and I think that too. I took some accountability or responsibility for my part as a fan and member of the community, and decided that I need to make some content to bring people into dreams as well. So yeah, and recently, actually just today, I seen a tweet that PlayStation put out about the new imps, the three new Halloween imps. I don't know if you guys saw those, but
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
awesome. And when I seen that, I decided that myself, and I hope that other people take the same uh, path. But when we see dreams advertised in other places, whether it be through PlayStation or another platform, we should share our experiences with dreams just in the comments so that people can see. We don't get the when's it coming to PC and Xbox is better comments that are all in there. And
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's maybe try to help spread the word a little.
Indeed. So let me ask you, because I was telling you, well, I would say about a week ago, you put up that you wanted to get your imp tattooed, and I told you to check out Hensley Tattoo, or Willow the
Yeah.
Bob, as
Yep.
dreamers may know her as. And so,
Yeah.
I guess tell us what's happening with that.
So when I have a handful of tattoos, right? And I like to even like look the way I dress. I like to reflect what's going on in here and then out a little bit, right? So that's why I get tattoos. And from the time I really, actually from the first time I seen my imp in VR, I decided I need this thing. I need this tattooed on me. This is like a piece of me now. And I became a fan of Funk ITA 97, I think. I could be wrong on that. I became a fan of his work, and I thought, oh, I believe he's from France, and I decided like, oh, I'm gonna go to France and get a tattoo. But it's a little hard to do traveling right now and work and different things like that. So um, I found out that we have another tattoo artist that's active in the Dreams community, and that's Willow the Bob, because of you. Um, and so I reached out, and I'm getting my imp tattooed, and it may be the first of a couple. We'll see. I'm just really excited.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I have plans for that little adventure of yours, but we'll hold off for now. We'll hold off for now. Maybe we'll do a whole little segment on how that went, but we'll get back to that.
Yeah,
Uh,
we'll see, huh?
yeah. Originally, originally you had mentioned on coming on today to talk about a specific project. Did you want to
Yeah.
fill us in on that?
Yeah, so as with Dreams, as with any game, I guess, or any project, especially we're learning a lot lately. There's always going to be some delays, right? Or a lot of times. So I had a lot of excitement, and we had a lot of plans. And I think the team was always aware that I was dreaming a little big. But it was something that everybody believed in. So what we're doing now, we've making a pet game, like a pet raising game inspired by like Tamagotchi, Digimon, Neopets, Monster Rancher, Monster Seed, Jade Cocoon, all the classic like pet racing games. And we decided that we're going to aim for a demo on Halloween where you'll be able to experience the combat system. But Halloween is looking awful close, so we'll see if we were able to achieve that. But we're aiming for something big. It should be a lot of fun. I want to have a good gameplay loop that people can come back to and build on. And a game that you may be able to beat but continue to play after the fact,
Yeah.
and maybe get a connection to that pet that you've been training.
So I noticed that you seem to have a lot of that in your social media, like your icon, your dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, is there like a backstory behind that? Like, or is it just like, oh, I got a dog, and all of a sudden I realized I love animals? Like,
Um, no, I think I always loved pet games, like just in like like simulation games, I guess. I love to play like Madden and 2K and build a franchise, and trade for players and try to make my team the best. In the same way that I love to see what six Pokemon that I can make good and breed them for the best potential values that you can get out of your Pokemon. So I think that just anything that you're looking at building something up over time, and seeing the results of your work. I think that's something that I've always enjoyed. But pet games specifically, I named a handful of them earlier, so I played them a lot growing up. It's something I'm really familiar with. So I think going that route, something that I can lean on a lot of past experience with, and who doesn't like a good pet raising game? I mean, I think most people do enjoy it, and I want that kind of calm. I'm kind of a calm person, and I have a hard time with like shooters and all that because I get so like I'm lost, right? And yeah,
Too
and
panicky.
yes, yes. So I like some kind of calm experiences, like Viva Pinata, if you guys have ever played that, and things that are just really relaxing. So I think that something like that in dreams like Animal Crossing or Harvest Moon, to bring some of those elements into a game that you just chill and maybe kill some time.
yeah, I mean, I don't- that when you said gameplay loop, it sparked a lot in my head because as we're getting along with Dino, like I've for the first time, as I said, I didn't get into Dreams to make a game, but here I find myself, and I always have to like keep thinking of the story, but then now that we're like building and getting through levels and all this stuff, I keep having to remind myself there has to be something in the gameplay other than, things I can't talk about. But
Yeah.
but I keep having to bring back into my mindset, which is very tell story, camera, this happens,
Right.
to actually think in the to think in the way of a a game. I'm trying to think of the way to say this,
Yeah,
but
no, you're totally right. I actually ran into something very similar with the pet game. So whenever we decided that we weren't going to be able to release anything close to what we wanted by Halloween, or at least me personally, and the team kind of agreed, I guess, that we kind of redirected towards the combat. Well, I realized that the combat was very shallow without the aspects of raising the pet and building it up. So then I was like, oh, we got to make every aspect of this game fun individually, right? So if I cut all the rest of this away, is this fun just on its own? Because there are going to be points in the game where, in any game, where you're just stuck on that part, and you may just say, hey, this is no fun. I've been stuck here for a while, and I'm not. It seems like I'm treading water. So if you isolate the major aspects of the game and you say, okay, I'm going to make this fun alone, then you're building yourself up for something that's just like it's got not only does it have a solid foundation, but each individual branch, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
is a different enjoyable experience.
Yeah, it's so important to put yourself in the player's shoes when it comes to game development, because it's so easy to get lost in your own creation because it is your creation and you
Right.
know exactly how everything needs to work. If there's a puzzle, you know exactly how the puzzle needs to
Mhm.
work in order to complete it, and you think it's great, but then as soon as the player gets onto it, it's a completely different story. So I
Right.
totally agree with you, splitting it up into sections and making each piece as fun as you can personally make it so you're happy with the enjoyment of that piece, and then obviously like get player feedback to see how that compares to your initial assessment. But yeah,
Right.
putting yourself in the player's shoes is so
You,
vital. And
you see that a lot where people are kind of stubborn to change things because they've used the controls and they're so familiar because they made the controls that
they've
way.
made it,
Right.
so
And so when somebody else comes in and says, this doesn't feel right, you see some people that are hesitant to take the advice, even though, because it feels easy to them. Because like you said, they put it together, they built it, and they know how it should work.
yeah, it's a natural rule. Of course, I'm going to talk about filmmaking, guys, but it's a natural rule that you don't edit your own film for these exact reasons. But I keep thinking I keep for some reason going like remembering it in film side, but then not like having to face it again in game dev, but
Hmm.
not realizing I had to do it until after the fact, where it's like, yeah, I see the story and it plays in my head. It's so great. And then it's like, oh, but yeah, someone's going to be playing this. I'm not going to be showing them the story.
Right.
They have to play the story. And so
Hmm.
like having to go back through and be and talking with the group and everything and just having people come up with ideas for what that gameplay loop for that section can be and keep it fresh so that it,
Right.
compounds into a great gameplay experience through the whole thing. It's just very new to me uh,
Right.
because I mean even now, like I said, it's hard for me to think that way. But yeah,
yeah, it's definitely been challenging, like for yourself to sort of break from that traditional loop of yours with filmmaking, and like when we're discussing Dino and like it's cinematics, then for instance like a cutscene or something, like we'll straight in there like, yeah, I know exactly how it needs to go. Cameras need to be here and here, and this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen, and then like when we're talking about the gameplay section, you can see the conversion rate happening in his mind. He's literally converting like boop, 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 turn it into gameplay, turn it into gameplay. And he sits there like this for like 5 minutes, just like just give me a sec. It's okay. I'll convert it and I'll figure something.
Yeah, and then,
Yeah.
but I do like that, you know, having to think that way. It's growing, and that's kind of all of what dreams really is for. I feel like for all of us, like the people who never thought they'd do anything like they're doing now. You know, you see people who paint and use Fleck. How, I don't know, but use Fleck to, you know, make these beautiful paintings. And they're like, I never played with digital art. I don't know, you know, I can do this though with dreams. And yeah, it's just, I feel like it clicks for everyone at a time. Like
Or
whatever
even
you're
in
working
different
on.
ways, though. In
Yeah.
different ways. I feel like dreams is a way for people to discover their hidden talents, right? That people come into dreams and like
100%.
myself, I can speak on myself, because I lived it. I came into dreams and I had no creative outlet. In the past I had dabbled in games when I was like 12 years old. I made some pixel art things and um, when I was a little kid I would doodle. But as an adult and even as a young man through high school, I had no creative outlet. Um, so it seemed like there was just all this inside of me that was begging to get out. So whenever I started, and it was so difficult, I couldn't even move around in a scene. And it kind of turned me off at first because I was thinking it was going to be easy, right? But like nothing in life worth having is easy.
Yeah.
So I started to put the work in. We had the quarantine, which gave me the time to really dedicate to learning dreams. And any time that I could see somebody streaming, especially in the beginning, I would just watch and learn everything I could from those people, and just absorb it all. Then I started to do collaborations, Trick or Treatment from last Halloween, which is behind me. Um, I got a lot of friends together, and we were able to make something that was really beautiful. Seemed like we talked before to lack a little on the gameplay side, but we did it in 2 weeks, and it was a showcase of everybody's skill set at that time, and it's a beautiful time capsule because we never did change it after the initial jam. And a lot of those same people were back this year for the pet game, and like I said, we had planned to do something small for Halloween, but it kind of, you know, go creep.
It did
So,
with projects do. They get bigger.
oh boy, Dino started off as such a simplistic idea in the beginning. It's like, oh yeah, I got this idea for this story, and I'd like to tell it in a game format. I think it'd be really
Mhm.
cool. And then Will came in. He's like, but what if we did this with the story? And I was like, you tell. And then it just from there, it's just cascaded into this huge behemoth of a task.
And it's always I always think things are going to be easier than what they are, which is good because if you realized how hard they were going to be, maybe we wouldn't. Maybe we wouldn't do it. Um, so it's
But
good to kind of be naive in that sense.
but with your pet game, can you talk a little about it, or is it all a bit hush hush at the
Yeah, I
minute?
can talk. I can talk it. I
No.
mean,
Okay, cool.
yeah,
So what kind of art style are we expecting in regards to, is it going to be 2D? Is it 3D?
it's
What
3D. Yeah,
it's
so
3D?
it's I'm as far as like maps and that kind of direction. I don't know yet exactly what we're gonna do there. It's gonna be up to a lot of people where that goes. As far as the pets go, we've got a 10 or 12 pets now. The majority of which are made by D Twala or J Combat, D Twala here in chat. I believe he was here at least. I had to close my window, so if anybody said hi or anything, hello. But I was having some connection issues here, so. But he's made a lot of the pets, and if you've seen any of J Combat's work in Dreams, I mean, super cute. And if you're wanting to have a fun pet game, you've got to really be invested in those pets. So his artwork's really going to help with that. Um, I know Scope a lot in Dreams, known as One Shot Scott on Twitch. He's going to be helping out a lot, and his art style is polar opposite of that, right? So maybe some of his work in the environmental to have a little contrast between the cute pets and the creepy kind of
Nice.
environment. So, but I think you'll see a little bit of both of their work kind of crossing over as well as some of mine. Captain Morgan's involved. Yade and Falco Rich have made some pets. Piece of Craft has done animations and made some pets.
So
Mikey
you got
CSLT.
quite the
Yeah.
team.
Yeah. Well, we've got, I think, everyone back from last year. And then we've added a few more.
Awesome.
Um, yeah.
So
So it's
can we
exciting.
expect a like a story driven experience with this? Like, is there going to be a main plot, or is it primarily just focusing on, bringing up these pets and upgrading them, or like
Yeah.
what is the main premise here with this game?
We definitely want to have some kind of story element. When I was young, I played a lot of Digimon World, the original, and it was basically a 3D Tamagotchi game. And so I've really taken a lot of elements from that and brought that into my own game because it was one of those games that no matter if you beat it, which I never to this day have beat that game, but I've put countless hours in it because you don't have to beat the game to enjoy it. It's just that loop of raising the pet and caring for it. A lot of Chow Garden I've brought into this game. You know, if anybody's played the Sonic games, Sonic Adventure, um, that's there are little elements from a lot of my childhood experiences that I'm trying to bring in to sprinkle. But as far as the story, we have some ideas. Nothing's like set in stone yet. Right now, we're just focusing on gameplay and making everything feel good, having some cute pets, and the main focus, like I said, right now is combat because we're trying to get that out in a demo form for Halloween.
And what type of combat are we talking about? Is it like real time strategy? Is it, turn based? What sort of combat should we expect?
It's somewhere in between, I guess. So it's a real-time combat system where you give the pet commands, um, and that pet, depending on its level of training, will have different commands that you can give and a different level of obedience to those commands. I guess it's good they're going to have a little bit of a mind of their own, and we've already got a system where they go back and forth. Um, but I'm in the process of just really fleshing that out now, and it's been fun. It's been a lot of back and forth tinkering, and where I spent a week of I don't even know what I'm going to do with this now, and just then at the end of that week, it was like, oh, okay, and then I just had it all came to me. So you have, I guess, writer's block sometimes in that sense.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you're just patient and you keep with it, things will come.
Just
So
explaining the
that's
fighting system alone, it's like, oh, so that's how it got ginormous.
yeah, yeah. Well, the fighting system wasn't as big as it's gonna be originally, but like I said, when we separated it from the rest of the game, it just felt shallow. And being that that's gonna be one of the pillars of gameplay for us, I can't see it being not fun. So we're gonna work on that.
I do like the obedience side of it though, because it's quite similar in regards to Pokemon. Like if you manage to trade with someone, a Pokemon that's way above the level that you should have with the amount of gym badges
Right,
you have, it just won't listen to you. Like you don't have that obedience because you don't have all of those badges. But you're taking it more into the sort of the core gameplay. Because
right.
like
So
with Pokemon, that's just something like a contingency plan to stop you from being OP. Whereas
right,
what you're saying is it more of a core aspect of the game, or is it quite
right.
similar to how Pokemon does it?
It's going to be have a lot to do with the way that you treat your pet, right? That's going to all be important to the gameplay because your pet has a lifespan in our game, and
Oh,
so you're not going to have a level 100 that's OP and going to be able to just power through the game. This is another element that we've taken from the Tamagotchi and Digimon blueprint, and basically your pet will age with time, and at a certain point, it'll cycle back through, you'll get another egg, train that, or raise that egg, hatch a pet based on how you treat the egg. So there are all these other elements and other.
wow.
Um, it's I know it sounds like a lot, but it's
It,
all
it
the
sounds
skeleton's all
so.
there already.
I'm
There's
just
so much
thinking of
done
all the
already.
logic that would
I
go
wish
into
I could.
this, like
I
how
mean,
you
I
treat
have
the egg will
dreams behind me. I
determine the
could show
monster.
you some secret things, but
Oh boy.
um, so what I did originally, and I had planned to do this alone originally. I'd started with just fleshing out the different parts of okay, how is the pet going to be raised? So when you look at we're training combat, right? You're looking at attack, HP, defense, all those things. And those are things you're going to see in Pokemon and every other pet game. But the things that Tamagotchi has would be maybe, and you see it in Pokemon now, would be like love, right? So that may decide a little bit on how that pet's going to react to you or listen to you and things like that. But we also have like hunger, fatigue, and bladder. So you're gonna have to make sure that you're just like in Tamagotchi, that your pet goes to the bathroom, so that you can't just spam training because you're gonna wear your pet out. You're gonna have to use the bathroom. You're gonna have to care for this pet. So the work that you're putting in, and it's all little things. It sounds like a lot, but once you have those variables set in place and the systems in place, I mean everything's basically there. It's just a matter of fleshing it all out and making it all cohesive now.
So with the pets themselves, like you said, they age and they get older and stuff. Can we expect some form of evolutionizing between different stages of the pet, or is it just one
As
consistent thing?
as much as I would love to do that, I just don't think that that's possible with all the other elements that we'd like to have in the game. Um, you never know what can happen down the road, or in sequels, or some other experience, or who knows. But as of right now, the evolution aspect, I guess we try to have that experience with the egg, right? Because at a certain point, you just have an egg that you carry around, which will be like on a little ranch that you have. And depending on where, if you're how long you hold the egg, how fast you move with the egg, these are already coded in. Um, Depending on if you have the egg in a cold temperature area or a warm temperature area for a period of time, all these aspects will add up to decide, okay, you get one of these 10 or 12 pets. Um, and then once you hatch that pet, it has a certain set of base stats that are all just keyframed, right? So for the stats, we just have these sliders. And then a keyframe will set the base stats of your pet that sits in like this little, it's just like a sphere, right? Everything's there, and all the pet is like a skin that just follows that around. So all those sliders are just set with one keyframe, and then the stats that you train on top of that are a variable that's added to the base stats. So those are consistent throughout every.
Wow. See,
Yeah, it's a lot
It
simpler than
sounds
it sounds, though, I
ginormous.
promise.
Yeah,
I
It's
am
not
so
though. It's not.
excited for it because I'm a huge fan of the Pokemon games. Always loved
Mhm.
them. I bought a Switch specifically just for the Pokemon franchise because I've
Awesome.
played every single one and I don't intend to stop. So that's the whole reason I have a Switch. It literally sits in that cupboard and it does not get played until a new Pokemon game comes out. That is it. That's
Right.
its whole purpose in life is just to play Pokemon games.
mm-mm.
So big fan. Love the franchise. However, very annoyed with the franchise because it's so stale. It's just the same thing over and over with a different skin. And I've always wanted like a really advanced version of Pokemon. And it seems like you are going to deliver on that
I,
experience that I've wanted for
dude,
such a long time.
don't hype me up like that. I don't know that. See, Pokemon has a lot of aspects that make it really strategic, right? Because you have the typing system, you have not only the types of the Pokemon, but the types of the moves, and you have almost 1,000, if not more, Pokemon at this point, and the same amount of moves. Like we're gonna have like 10 or 12 pets, right? You're gonna have like 12 possible moves that go between those pets. It's gonna be a lot smaller scale, which allows us to maybe take some more liberties there. But as far as the combat, I wouldn't expect the same strategy involved. I think it's going to be more of raising the pet, getting it to listen, and then once you have a well-trained pet that listens and has certain attacks, it'll probably be like, I hate to say, like spam some good attacks. I'm gonna try my best not to have that combat be that way. I want some back and forth.
Yeah.
Um, but we have a limited amount of time, a limited amount of
That's
skill, at least in
that's
my case personally. So
but that's the thing though. It's like the relationship between the player as the human and the pet that you're raising and battling with is so lost in Pokemon the game, but so on point in the animated series. Like in the
right,
series, it's all about the relationship between the trainer and the Pokemon. Like, it's all about that love and that understanding between each other of what they expect from one another and not using the Pokemon as just a weapon. It's all about that love relationship, and that's fantastic, but it just doesn't translate in the games. It's just get a Pokemon, press the button, and you do what I tell you to do. There is no raising the pet and building that relationship in order to gain better moves then or to earn better items or whatever. There is none of that in Pokemon. And I feel that it's so lost that what you're making may be a much more smaller scale than Pokemon, but what you're going to do is what needs to be done in Pokemon, which is the whole raising aspect and building that relationship with the creatures.
Right. I feel like that we want there to be some level of attachment, right? And different games that I've played in the past where you're not going to have six different Pokemon that you cycle through, right? You have one pet that follows you around, and so already there you have that one-on-one experience. But then you're putting all your time into this one pet. I mean, we have it so if your pet is so there's a stress stat along with like all the other lifespan is affected by like care mistakes. And so if you make a lot of care mistakes and you stress your pet out big time, it may just run away on you, and you may have to start from scratch.
Oh,
So I want it to feel like there's that level of interaction. And a lot of games have had that in the past. Hey You Pikachu on the N64, you could actually talk into it, and your Pikachu would respond. Digimon World was like that. The Tamagotchis, where you have that one-on-one experience. Monster Rancher was like that. The one-on-one experience of raising that pet up. So I've tried to pull the aspects, like I said, from my past experiences that really made the games engaging to try to do it with this. What's up, Mighty?
I'm laughing at chat because because one, while y'all are talking about all these systems, like I think I've come to realize that these like I've always stayed away from Pokemon because I it just doesn't hit me the same. But
Right. It's not for
but
everybody.
like when you were talking about it, I was thinking about this, like what in what way could this be put into a game that I would want to get involved in, and
Right.
my mind just went to all sorts of dark places. So I was just, so I'm just listening to like looking at chat and
Right.
also thinking of this dark ass game where like you're a scientist that's being held captive, but you have all these monsters that you've been raising basically from like egg to toddler, and like they break out, and it turns. Do y'all remember that first game? Well, one of the
I like
first
that
games that
idea.
was ever put on Dreams or really ever got like real blow up was the one with the big dinosaur that would shoot lasers and trample the city.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
what's that called? Oh,
It's
I
on the
can't
tip of my
remember.
tongue.
I can't remember right now.
Some with an R. Ruckus.
Ruckus, that's it. Yeah, there we
I
go.
was like, that would be it. It was like you would be raising these creatures, but then you get taken away by some secret organization. And then when they actually, like, the story would be them basically learning the world, and they just kept getting bigger and bigger trying to come rescue you. That would be like my thing where it's like, but even still, it's like, I'm moving far away from the idea of taking care of like I'm just breaking the whole
I
thing.
think
So that's what I was laughing at. My mind was going all sorts of places.
I think we're
Wow.
kind of maybe getting a little on the creepy side with ours though, because initially it was all Halloween themed, and I think we're gonna try to stick with that kind of like spooky theme. So most of the pets are like bats, crows, scarecrows, ghosts, spiders. So we have a little bit of that.
Okay.
I
Cool.
would
Good.
suggest if you're looking for that kind of like a edgy kind of pet game, try Monster Seed for PS1. That was a
Monsters.
your monsters would curse you out if you were
Wow.
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
that actually
Yeah,
that
I
feels
need to
right.
play that. I
That
need to
Yeah.
feels
play
right.
that.
Yeah, it's a very edgy monster game, but it's a lot of fun. And
So
there's like I said, go
you
ahead.
mentioned that a lot of your characters is you're basing them off of actual real life animals. So are we to expect that the creatures in this game are all going to be like that, or can we expect some type of mythical creatures or fantasy style
Um,
animals in this game?
I mean, there's already a scarecrow. There is a reaper. Uh, there is a Cthulhu that was made by Yade.
Nice.
And a dragon by Falco Rich. So there are pets that aren't just animals. We even have a cauldron, a living cauldron. So
Cool.
yeah,
Ooh,
there's
that's
there's some
intriguing.
unorthodox. Yeah, well, in Pokemon they have keys, so I figured we could have a call.
Yeah. I mean,
So
Willow
that was
was.
Jay Combat's mind that
Oh,
actually
dude,
came up.
Yeah,
Pokemon have just lost their mind lately with some of the Pokemon. Like with Sword and Shield, they literally made a teapot. Like,
yeah.
come on,
Really?
a
And
teapot.
Willow was saying that there's a Pokemon that's actually a trash bag,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
that's
Yep.
hilarious.
Yep. It's just they're just running out of ideas. It's just like we have
Yeah.
1,000 Pokemon. What can we do? I reckon they're just looking around the office at all the crap, and they're just like, ah, there's a trash bag. Let's make that a Pokemon. Yeah, we'll put some eyes on it. That'll do. It's just
Yeah,
like
the
they've
classics are
lost
the
all the
best.
inspiration. All the
The
inspiration's
original
gone.
151. Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan,
Yeah,
Kabutops. Those are my
you'll never beat
go-tos.
the OG 151.
Yeah.
Never.
These secret words. I don't know what it
Yeah. Yeah.
is. You'll never beat that 151, baby. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
The who?
Oh, yeah,
The original number of
the
Pokemon
original,
were
the, ori-
151.
yeah, the original first
Okay.
gen. Yeah.
All
So
I
that
really
we're
know
just
is
basically
Togepi.
saying
That's
everything
it.
after the original was never as good. Although
Yeah.
season 2 wasn't bad. The second set.
Yeah. I had a Togepi keychain at one point. I like Togepi.
Okay.
For some reason, that design, just, I loved it for some reason.
Cute.
Yeah, it's very cute. Very cute. You can win me over with cute stuff. I'm a softie.
Yeah, so
So,
you'll probably like our game then, because Jay Combat makes the cutest stuff. And a lot of
Bangarang.
that, so. And Yade makes some cute stuff too. She's involved, so.
So, what
Eh,
realistically, when can we expect to play this? Like, even in demo form. Like, is there
Um,
anything you can say on it? Because I know you was aiming
I'm,
for October, but
I'm aiming for the end of the month for Halloween for the combat. I can't guarantee it though. There's a lot to do. So
whatever you do, don't rush.
yeah,
yeah,
I don't
please
want to. And that's
don't
what
rush it.
Piece of Craft had done some animations, and he was like, you know what, this has really got some potential, and I really like. I'll help you, but please don't rush this, because. And then that's when I really started to think like I could burn through this and just be like, oh, this is it, and move on to the next thing. But um, when I did my last collaboration, it was a lot of the same people, and um, they were so great to work with and learn from. And it's everyone that I've got working with me. I always let them know that this is just a game and it's just for fun, and there's never any pressure. And anytime you want to step back from it or just hop in and out or just even contribute a little bit or not, that's all fine. And so everybody's got their own things going on, and when I get a helping hand is great, and when I can get in and work on it is great. So we'll get it there as soon as as soon as we get it there, I guess.
Yeah.
But I would say that there's a lot. The skeleton of it is there, right? We just got to flesh it out. All
Yeah.
the systems pretty much are in place.
I mean, and that's pretty much one of the main priorities with any type of game in this flesh is the systems is such important part of it, because if the battling system and the raising mechanics don't feel right, then everything else is just not going to work. So like it seems like you've got the core element of the game down, which is really cool, because then from there you can just build upon that slowly and just make an awesome game out of it.
There's a lot of balancing that's gonna have to come into it too, though. So it's gonna take time. That's all I can say.
Well, I'm really looking forward to playing it. It's definitely on my watch list for the
Awesome.
top Dreams creations that I need to play.
Thank
Hell
you.
yes.
Thank you. I think that I'm feeling the same way, because I'm just excited to be working with the talented people that I'm working with that are bringing it to life right along with me.
Awesome. And so let me ask you a question to kind of move us into our next, I guess, our next topic.
Okay.
When you're making this game and thinking about how long it's going to take to really iron and flesh things out, do you think of the updates that are coming and think to yourself, oh God, is it like if it's going to make you want to redo or alter, or if it's just going to add time? Because I do. I think about it.
I don't, because right now, like, everything that's coming is like quality of life improvements. We may be able to flesh some things out or change what we're going to change, but like I really think that everything's there that you need to make quality games, content, whatever your preference is, right? The tools are all there. This is just extra. So if I can add some extra, spice it up a little, then I'll do that. But I don't think there's going to be much that changes the course of the game, at least.
No,
We may
yeah.
reduce the amount of flex or increase the amount of flex with that new bar that's coming that you'll be able to, I guess, change the fleck randomness in a sculpt. That may, we may use things like that, or like the new stuff that just came out where you can extend the fog, or who knows? Those things may get used, but
That fog is just crazy. Like how much more fog you can have. Like our lead environment designer in Dino, Marcus, is just like he is so excited with all these new features. He was in the
yeah.
chat the other day. He's like, "Yo, I might just restart everything."
Oh my goodness.
He's like, "I am so pumped for this update. I might just change everything now."
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's my favorite part of the new update, but just like the fog range, because I was having a conversation with Mean Lad. If you haven't checked out his YouTube, it's fantastic. But I think that the dreams look that's used as a pejorative for like against dreamers creations is like partially due to the look created by the fog that distorts the images and almost has like a fleck overlay to your
Right.
Yeah,
entire
yeah,
image.
yeah, yeah.
And that overlay, while it benefits the more like painterly style,
Mhm.
is you know it keeps others from looking super clean.
Right.
So like in my opinion, the possibility of a more manicured image that you can then control all the different pieces to make it into what you want is just it's super sexy to me. Like I think it's gonna lead to some stunning results, and it already has for a few people who've been posting things on Twitter. Like you're
Mhm.
seeing the difference already. So like that's my favorite of the updates.
And that's just such a cool thing about like dreams in general and the creators on the platform. Like, you give them one tiny little new thing. Like you didn't even need to give them anything else. Just
Yeah.
just give them one new feature. And you can guarantee that, 100 dreamers is gonna collectively sit there with their minds and turn this feature into something completely upside down and change the whole face of how you create in dreams. And it's just so cool to see it. You just pop on Twitter and they're like, "Oh yeah, this fog range, yeah, I did this with it," and you just look at it and you're like, how how and why did you even think you could try to do that
Yeah.
with it? And yet you've done it anyway. It's insane.
Yeah.
I had a conversation the other night with Magma Monster about creativity, and I was talking about how my little brother always constantly I try to get him into dreams, and he's like, "I'm just not creative." And Magma was saying, everything, every decision that you make, decision making itself is creativity, and
Yeah.
for people to say that they're not creative is insane. And I think dreams is like this microscope that just gives you this insight into people's minds um, that you could never get any other way. Just watching people like create something out of logic or even an image with sculpting and the thousands, hundreds of thousands of different ways that people find to do the same thing differently is mind blowing to me. And one of the best examples I've seen of this was last week in Freaky's 30-minute challenge that he does on Sundays. Um, there were the prompt was slug revenge, right? And so everyone kind of got a very similar idea, right? So we all basically made slugs that were getting revenge for being salted on or salting humans or had giant slugs tearing up a city with having maybe some salt involved. Like, and it was there were 10 or 12 entries, maybe more. I don't know, but they were all so different but so similar and done in 30 minutes. And it was just this uh, really amazing experience to see because they do it every week, but it's always they're like you can always interpret things so differently. But because these were all interpreted similarly with just those variations and everyone's style really shine through in their own interpretation, it was really an awesome thing to see.
Yeah,
I keep go ahead.
I was just gonna say the individuality of everybody's minds in what they perceive stuff as, is such a beautiful thing to see outputted in something like dreams, because everybody can read a book, and everybody that reads that book, they'll visualize the characters in a completely different way. And you can talk to the person, you're like, well, how did you visualize the main character? And they're like, oh yeah, he's got really long brown hair, and the other person like, no, I envisioned short black hair. And I just love that everybody can have the same thing, but completely perceive it differently.
Mm-hmm.
And Dreams just has a really good way of showcasing that individualism in the same subject. Like they do it when they do it with their own jams. Like, you just go through all the jam entries and you're like, wow, you've took this one subject and we've got hundreds of different variations of this one subject. It just goes to show that
Beautiful
you
thing.
don't need the biggest idea in the world to create something. You just need one word. That's all you need, and you can create a whole entire world out of it.
Yeah. I mean, so, hopefully I'll get, as I said, more time with Dreams coming up here soon, because it's starting to bother me a little bit that I can't get on as much as I want to. It's like when I get on, it's specifically to work on a thing specifically for like Dino. I don't have a lot of time to really invest into making other things click, which is probably why logic still evades me. Like, it makes sense, but I don't have time. Like, as I was saying a few episodes ago, someone was like, yeah, making something in logic and then figuring out why it doesn't work, that's part of the that's part of the attraction.
Journey.
That's the good
Yeah.
stuff. And I'm like, yeah, well, when it doesn't work, I don't have time. So,
Right.
so I can't dive in and be like, oh, this is how it works and this is how it's supposed to be put together. I don't have time for that. But yeah, all these things are just going to be fantastic. All these changes, especially ones that they still have, in the oven waiting for us, that bake to paint,
Or
this,
3D printing. 3D printing is going to be really cool.
it's
That's
gonna,
what I
that's gonna be a whole other realm of stuff there. Like,
Yeah.
like
The fact that it's still there just shows that it's coming, but it's just how long and who knows. But it's going to be great.
I've always wanted a 3D printer just because I want a 3D printer. But I've never made the investment because I just don't have the need for it, and I'd end up just printing all sorts of crap that I don't need. But as soon as that drops on Dreams, that's the time when I'm just going to be like, yeah, it's time to print everything on the Dreamiverse and put it on my wall.
Yeah.
oh God, it's
Yeah, I'm going to
Plastic
cover the
dreamers.
whole entire room with plastic Dreamers. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, just think how cool that would be. Like this concept of plastic Dreamers that happened a while ago, and then you'll be able to physically print those plastic Dreamers. Just awesome. I just love it. And
yeah,
the fact that I could have a Dino, like I could have a physical Dino figure that I can put on my PC. Yep, that life complete.
as
Happy
soon as you
days.
started describing it, I was like, oh, so he just wants to go in and just take everybody's stuff off the Dream.
Yeah, I just want to print everything, like everybody's main characters, like all of these IPs that we've now got in Dreams, like because we have all these amazing IPs. I just want to print them all. I want everything.
You gonna have people looking real mad. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Some people, they'll like that concept, but but I guess what for y'all, what was like something that you saw with this new update that you really were like, you were like, oh, that changes a lot for me.
Bake to paint, definitely, because I've made these fish out of paint, similar to I think everybody's seen the shark in Dreams that's made out of paint that is wobbly and moves on its own, right? So I made fish the same way, and I sculpted the fish and then I traced it in these lines and
I saw you
perfect
do
lines.
that. I saw you
Oh
do
my
that.
goodness.
It looks
It
so
was a lot.
tedious.
It is, and I don't know how I had the patience because I don't feel like I have that kind of patience anymore. I think I burned out all my patience early on in Dream because I couldn't. Everything was super slow at first. So, but yeah, I had a heck of a time making those, and even the jellyfish that I did the same way. It took a long time to make, and so Bake to Paint's going to make that kind of thing a lot easier potentially. So it's exciting to see what the limitations are. I don't know yet, and I'm curious to see, especially with color variation and things like that, or with the physical paint, will it translate well? I'm excited to see.
Did anything from like the most recent update that dropped actually like, make you be like, oh God, I mean, we're all waiting for the bake to paint. I mean, yes.
Yeah, I think with the most recent update, it was just all little things that were like together they were exciting. I think individually, the thing that excited me the most was the decimals in the thermometer.
Oh yeah, the thermo
So you can
details.
really, yeah, you can really break down, um, what
What's
something
taken up?
costs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had an issue with my Scarecrow, that it was reading out at 3%, but it was actually higher than 3% when I went to submit it, but it didn't show me that yet. That in Dreams could see that, but Dreams itself wasn't showing it.
Huh.
So I had already done this texture because I thought I had a ton of extra I'm like, oh, I'm only at 3, I'm not the 4 yet. So I had done all this texturing to it, and I'm like, I had tried to reduce it after the fact, and it was just not possible at that point once I had textured it. So, Media Molecule's really accommodating and understanding, and I reached out, and they were able to get me in. Even and like I said, it said 3%. It was probably 3.6 or 3.5 or
Yeah.
something like that. So they were like, yeah, we'll get you. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
So,
That's what I mean. Like having that decimal point is really going to help, especially when there is these jams with limitations on what you're allowed for thermo.
right.
Like you have that decimal place to make sure you are spot on with your
Right.
limit. So super handy to have.
Yeah, it's
But
good for everybody.
for me, the most intriguing thing about the new Trello update was that opaque fleck and what that could mean for like
You
everything.
this is very much like a dreamer's issue right now. I said about this update. Y'all already just to bypass the new update and are talking about things we don't have
The next one.
Just
We were just talking about hold on, we were just talking about bake to pay, and that's
yeah.
not in this update.
Yeah, which is why I re-asked the question. Yeah, but what about
It's,
this update? Yeah,
I know, but
see,
bro,
y'all,
that fleck though, that fleck
it's gonna be
though.
nice
bro, don't you think I know? Don't you think that's what I've been wanting, bro?
for
Yeah,
people like Wyled and Andy Mason who do like a lot of drawings. I guess in dreams would be the best way to they describe them. Yeah, they're gonna be awesome to
Like,
see what those people can create. And then I was one of the people that said, oh, if we can add flex, how about a leaf fleck? Um, and a lot of people were asking for a leaf fleck, and I've heard some other people say like, oh, you can make leaves in many different ways out of the flex we already have. Why would you want a leaf fleck when everything in Dreams is going to look like this leaf fleck now? And my response to that was like, because I thought about it for a while, is maybe some people who aren't like a trained or experienced artist like myself, because I'm not um, professionally trained and I don't have a lot of experience in creating art. It would be nice to make it just a little bit easier for me to make nice foliage, and then everybody else that's like a really exceptionally talented artist doesn't need to do it the way that I need the easy way to
so
do it.
it's not necessarily that you want a leaf fleck. You want the ability to create your own fleck.
I think
Just
that's a lot to ask.
yeah,
I feel. I mean, it is, but then again, I mean, it's kind of like yeah, you're asking for the first base of that final thought because that's
Mm,
I mean because a lot of people have asked for this. A lot of people brought this up as something that they want because you can do it in like Photoshop where it's like you can create your own brushes and
brushes,
make
yeah.
it so that you swipe right with your mouse and you have a line of trees like so I mean, yeah. Anyway, okay. So it's not what you're asking for, but I think
No,
it's
no,
the
no.
thing that's most commonly asked for when it comes to the idea of having new
I've heard
flex.
people ask that. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
think that's probably a lot to ask. It's probably going to be a big tool on Thermo if they would put something like that in because you're going to have to think it's going to have to. I guess the way I would look at it is if you want your own fleck, which is going to be, you may not be able to apply it in the same ways, but like just paint something together and make a fleck, make your own fleck, I guess. Because like
Yeah.
I could technically paint up a leaf and then just spread them apart and have like a bunch of leaves, that are exactly the leaf that I want. Yeah, I could do that. A leaf fleck would make that even easier and more efficient. But that there's, I
I
guess, I guess it's just hard to ask for something that involved. I don't want
I
to seem
I
needy.
could have sworn that they've mentioned this before and said that it wouldn't be possible due to
I think
how
so.
the flex work in the engine.
I
Like
believe
that
Alex
having
said that. Yeah,
custom made flex or something just wouldn't work because of how the engine renders the flex or something. I can't remember exactly, but I'm more sure an MM official has mentioned it before that it
I
just
do
wouldn't
believe so.
be possible.
But right
I
now,
believe.
we don't know
I mean,
where it's gonna be.
I mean,
When we
with
get
PS,
when we get Dreams Plus. No, I'm just like,
It probably just has to do with like the foundation that Dreams is built on. There's
yeah,
yeah,
probably no way around it at that point.
yeah.
But if they can add one fleck, they can add a second fleck. Give me a leaf. Give me a leaf.
bubble. I'm just saying, possibly Bubble Bath 2.1. You know that as they, we get to the
it's
next
definitely
iteration of the engine.
feasible. You know,
Yeah.
with like a PS5 version or something where they have access to a lot more power and a lot more resources, maybe something then. But you know, we're daydreaming at this point.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you. I'm gonna tell you what part of the recent update that,
Yeah. What part are you excited about?
well, the fog, like I said, was my favorite thing. But one part that made me kind of terrified personally, because I dislike this aspect of gaming, but it was just the way it was it was demonstrated, was the damage multiplier feature. And all I could think is, how many bullet sponges are going to be in Dreams now? Like,
Yeah.
how?
I
I-
think seen Alka Gaming mention that it's going to be great for difficulty settings. That you can use that throughout the game to decide, okay, this if you're at this difficulty, this amount of damage happens. Where if you're at hard difficulty, less happens when you do damage, and let more happens to you. So that's where I heard that it would probably be like one of the easiest ways, or like I heard a lot of people say too, if you're holding up a shield, right, it'll do less damage when you're hit. But I like the idea of using it for difficulty levels.
and let's see, the frame numbers, but also like
Ooh,
the idea
yeah,
of moving that for like animation and
that's big.
my proposed Wacom integration. Anyway, the point is that that along with the like being able to pull that out, the 2D realm of Dreams, I think just got a big bump personally,
Hmm.
and it's going to be exciting to see where people take that, as well as the brightness percentage increase, because a lot of people there haven't seen anything from them in a while, but a lot of people were using extreme brightness to get rid of seams within puppets. And so it gave them like a really cool bleached out style to their game development. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that now. Just people playing around with that sort of style, because like I said, the the seams. The seams are always gonna. The seams we gotta get rid of them. We gotta find a way to get rid of them, and a lot of us aren't good enough to do it manually. Okay, let's just own up,
Practice.
just own up to it.
It's
Okay,
hard.
no,
It's hard.
but I mean,
I struggle with it. I get lucky sometimes and get it good, but it's definitely difficult.
Jeebers, stop it. I see that. Stop it. No, I'm just so yeah. But those things, it all comes with time when things click. Because I really want to emphasize this, just because I think it's something that a lot of people, especially those who get frustrated with certain aspects of Dreams, don't get. And I guess because I've run into it so many times in different programs, that you got to really realize that it's hard until it clicks, and everything clicks at a different time. Like, it's for me, even though sculpting was the thing that I started out with, and it's where I've like stayed for most of my time in Dreams so far. From where I started to like when it clicked, and I was like, oh, so that's how it's supposed to be done. You just have to have the patience. You have to have the
Right.
patience, and it'll
Yeah.
I
come.
think. See, the reason I started with sculpting was because I feel like, obviously, not having much of an art background, that was going to be my weakness. And I knew if I went straight into logic, which I have some kind of experience with that sort of thing because I made a few games whenever I was a little kid. Um, that, I felt like that would come easier to me. So if I did the logic first, I would be like, sculpting's too hard. I'll have somebody else sculpt, and then I would have never learned that aspect where I pushed myself through the sculpting. And then when I got into logics, things started to come together because I was more familiar with how dreams works. So I always tell new people to just pick one thing, focus on it, and then the other things will start to make more and more sense because dreams has a lot of consistencies, with how things operate throughout music and animation and sculpting and logic. All there's overlap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the beauty of having an all-in-one suite. I mean, you
Right.
have to have that consistency for it to work. So, yeah, learning one thing easily well, not easily, but it will transition into the next thing because it uses the same UI and tool set. You're not moving to a separate program with a whole new set of tools to learn. You use the same tools, they all cross over into every different aspect of creation. So, yeah, that the whole all-in-one suite of things makes it a lot easier to transition to different elements of dreams.
And then there's the most quality of life changes that came through. The font numbers. Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
goodness. So overdue.
I've fought it so many times, like just working on the little things I've been able to just shoot out there into the Dreamiverse, where I'll just start out like, yeah, I want this font for everybody throughout the thing, and just finding it. Each time I wanted to put up dialogue was so, yeah, that made my rage thermo go up quite a lot. Like whenever I tried to work on it, it was bad. But font numbers is amazing, and it sounds like nothing probably to some people, but
I know, but it's such a big difference to those that use it. Like,
I
oh my
guess
god.
the alternative before was to plug a slider in, right, and use that.
Mhm.
But even then, like, it should be there. So
yeah.
one of the things I'm excited for is, was this in the last update? I'm not positive. Where they're gonna have the numbers output on the gadgets, so that you don't have to hook up a number displayer. I think that's in the next one or one of the upcoming updates.
I'm not too sure actually.
I think that's the next update. That's not
Yeah.
this one.
Because that something I guess that existed in the past that they had taken away for whatever reason, but I'm excited for that to exist because it makes everything easier to monitor and just makes bug fixing a little easier.
Yeah. And then there's the Sun and Sky gadget update, which thank God, because no, yeah, I've literally like in some of my shadow creations that I haven't let out into the world yet, like I've sat there with the sky thing trying to get the sun in the right spot, and it was constantly shifting on its line, and like it would I just took sky out of stuff. I'm just like, you know what? Screw it. Yeah. Like I just make my whole lights. Yeah. I'm just like, I'll make my own light sources. When the camera's not pointing there anyway, I just screw it. Like I've rage quit the sky gadget before. And so, yeah, that being able to move like without shifting where like the sun distance is amazing to me.
And that's what it is. It's just these small quality of life things that are just so small in regards to what they do, but make such a massive impact on what you're actually doing. And it's so great to see that Media Molecule are focusing on these tiny little things. And I hope they continue. I mean, they will continue to do it. I mean, Media Molecule's awesome, but they just really take note of what the community says with all the nitpicky stuff, and they really do pick up on it. And this update is a testament to that, where they really take notice of everything everybody says, and they're like, okay, well, let's fix these small little things. And they even said themselves, like, this was just going to be just a regular update, just it's 2.3.2, just a new update. And the response that everybody gave Media Molecule for it, I think, has really opened their eyes to say, like, okay, these small things really do make a huge difference. So I think
Hmm.
going forward, we're going to see a lot
We'll see
more
a
of
lot
these
more.
quality
Yeah.
of life improvements, which is fantastic.
Right, and
Well,
that's where I kind of got jaded for a while because we didn't get any updates, and I started to wonder, where's Dreams headed? Did I put all this time into this
Oh
for,
no.
it to be going down the wrong direction, and thankfully, I think it's heading in the right direction, and maybe I got to be one of those people that overreacted a
Is
bit.
dreams dying?
Yeah, yeah.
Not,
But I think it's up to, like I said, it's up to the community to help it, flourish. I think if it's something that, I mean, you guys are doing a great job, with having the podcast. Anybody that creates content's helping it grow to some extent. But I think just any time, like I said earlier, if we see dreams advertised somewhere, put your 2 cents in, let people know what a great tool this is and what a great community um, Dreams has. And I think, and then on top of that, it's up to us to make good content in Dreams, which you guys are putting a lot of work into this Dino game. Making that game. We've got all kind of great projects coming down the pipeline, and it's just it's UGC, user generated content, so it's
Yeah.
up to the users to make it great.
okay. That you know what you just reminded me because you are absolutely correct on that, and that call to action. You know what? I want to send the Made in Dreams army after a specific target. Okay? Okay, hear me out.
We're not hate rating, are we?
What? No, 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 no. I love these guys. I love them, and I'm and
I know
the fact.
exactly what you're gonna say.
Yes,
Go on. I know
I,
exactly what you're
I
gonna
love
say.
these guys, but listen to me, Made in Dreams army. We need to bring the Apocalypse to Corridor Digital.
Here we go.
Okay. I've been trying to reach these guys and get one of them on the show, or at least to try Dreams, because I don't think I don't think they know, because I feel like with all of the stuff that they make, all the videos that they
Yeah.
make, like
They are the people that would jump on it straight away. Like if they knew what it was and what it could do, they'd be all over it. I think you are right on the money there. They just don't know what it is, or even if it exists for that matter.
yeah, I
Because
don't
if
know
they
if they know.
did, there is no reason as to why we wouldn't have Corridor Digital stuff in Dreams.
Because they always have these challenges where they're like, like everyone saw a week. Oh, doggy. Like everyone saw, like last month or 2 months ago now, they did the Bob Ross challenge, and all of them were using different engines to try to keep up with Bob Ross and create his painting. And then we all saw different people in our community do it, and everybody was tagging the hell out of them, trying to get them to realize. And people have come to me personally and been like, yo, go after Corridor Digital, because like we need those guys. And I'm like, I'm trying. I think I've messaged all of them. I've DM'd the ones that I could. I've commented under the videos. So I say to you now, dreamers, hear me. We need to go after Corridor Digital. We need to get one of them. One of them. So go at it. Go at it. Because I would love to have them like play it. And even if it was just they made a video, I'd be fine with that. I don't need them on the podcast. But
Just seeing them make something with it, like
yeah.
that's good enough for me. I just want to see one of them do something with it because, man, they're amazing with what they do. Like with everything they touch, like everything they make with anything they touch is just pure gold. They're just geniuses.
Yeah. And so I would like to see them do it. So join me and send them at me if you want. That's fine. Send them at me. And they might send me, be like, yo, stop telling people to reach us. And I'll be like, well, then answer me. And that's what I'm not going to back down. This is just my way.
And,
this is the way of the vicious. So
while the army does go out and badger Corridor Digital to do something, while you're there, spreading the word of Dreams. Dreams is on sale again, which is fantastic. Great opportunity to get new people into Dreams. Like it is so cheap right now. Like I think here it's like £12 or something. It's just such a steal. Like it's a steal at any price. Like I was having this conversation with a Twitter user the other day actually. Like it's such a steal at any given price they ask for it. It's worth it for what it can do. But at the current price it is right now in the sale is just ridiculous. They might as well be giving it away. So anybody that doesn't have Dreams, just tell them about Dreams. and just send them a link to it on sale, because there has never been a greater time to convince people to try it out because of how cheap it is.
Yeah. I mean, I think now I've gotten about 15 friends to buy it
Wow,
and
you've
come
been
in
busy.
and I've spent over $300 buying it for people to force them to play it.
You ain't gonna buy it?
I've bought it for a lot of people, and most of them haven't played it. It's kind of disappointing.
Hey, see, you gotta stay on them.
Yeah.
You gotta be standing. You'll be talking to them on the phone, and you'll be like, "Have you tried Dreams yet?" And they'll be like, "No, I haven't gotten around to it." And then just hang up the phone, and when they look behind them, you're there, and you're like, "Try it, put it in the machine," and turn it into a horror story. It's all good. So. But yeah, I mean, there are friends that I know that haven't been able to really get a handle on it, but I know they will because I've seen them attack things before, and it's like things that are way more complicated than Dreams. It's just they have to get their mind behind it. So, well, I have faith. As long as they have it, there's always the chance, and that's what we need, the chance. That's it.
Right.
So,
Anybody that has just the tiny inkling of creativity, like as soon as they just have a taste of Dreams, there is no excuse. They'll just be hooked, like we all are. Because as soon as you see what people make and what you can do with it, that's it. It's
Yeah.
just, you just need that little taste.
I think my crowning achievement so far is probably convincing a 78-year-old man to buy it for his grandson.
Wow.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm out here working. All right, I'm out here working for Media Molecule. They just don't know
I'm
it.
always pushing it. I'm always pushing it to streamers. If I find a new stream that I'm watching and I'm enjoying it, I'm like, have you heard the word of our Lord and Savior Dreams?
Absolutely.
I'm always pushing it.
It's the only way.
Okay, Kataya. First of all, you ain't got to come up in here with all this blatant disrespect. No, I'm just playing. Look, 78-year-old man who's an author who's actually giving me money already. I mean, because I got, contracts, works. This is the reason I can't spend more time on Dreams. Anyway, the point is, we, as Notre was saying, we need to really put our foot forward, because the more that we do, the more Dreams will grow, and that's what we all want. And then we could all look as comfortable as what's your dog's name?
Sosa.
Huh?
Sosa? Like Sandy Sosa?
Oh, Sosa. All right. Well, Sosa, we could all be as happy and content as Sosa appears.
Yeah,
He's being very needy right now. Yeah.
But so I guess now's the time for shout outs before we end today's show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what have you seen recently in the Dreamiverse that has blown your mind? Because we always talk about how we see things every day, and I think we need to start throwing out names. We need to start telling people where to look if they haven't. And chat, feel free to chime in on this. I'm going to go with Ilias Juice, as I think that's what his name is. Her name, I don't know. I'm not trying to be insensitive, but they do a lot of paintings on Twitter, and I don't know how they get Fleck to behave long enough to create what they create. Like, it's insanity to me. So every time I try to work with Fleck, it's unruly as hell. It's doing all types of stuff, but you can tell they have control of it, and it inspires me, and that's what's important, not my frustration. So go look it up. It's, you know what? I'm going to find it real quick. I'm going to find it, and I'll try to go along with everybody and put their links in chat. So,
well, while you try and find that, I will go ahead and say that I've been following this particular dreamer for quite a while on Twitter. Not as active as I'd like this guy to be, because he's absolutely insane with what he's making. He's called Vaughn, and he's making a game called Naut, N-A-U-T. Not sure if you've seen it, but oh boy, does that just hit me in all the right places. It is absolutely beautiful, and it's such a homage to Limbo, and it's just it just looks so good, and the guy's putting so much work into it. And yeah, if you haven't seen him, he's on Twitter. It's at VORN__. The guy is just super talented. I believe he's actually a filmmaker, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
I've already spoken with him. I'm supposed to have him on once he gets closer to releasing.
Fantastic.
Not because
Yeah.
he actually has an IMDb page, which is where I live. So yeah, I was on him.
I figured you would be, but
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so if anyone hasn't seen him on Twitter, yeah, at VORN__, just go check out his work. What he's making is truly special, and I can't wait to see it.
So
Yeah,
I'll find
you
him
guys
next.
kind of put me on the spot here. I don't know. There's nobody that's like a hidden gem. I don't think that I can think of that I've just recently seen anything that's coming out. I guess there's tons of great dreamers that are. It always surprises me how many people don't know about Funk. So I always am trying to spread the word about him. He's always doing some great stuff. Funk ITA 97, I believe, in Dreams. He's been around for a long time, and he does a lot of great work. He's a tattoo artist, and like I said, I'm just always surprised how many people haven't seen his work. But as far as like new, exciting stuff, there's a dreamer who recently started making a lot of stuff and recently made a Twitter. It's got a really neat art style. I think their name is Flux Mux or Flux Mix. I'm not positive. Their logo on Twitter is a little bird, I believe, but they do some really awesome work in Dreams too. And they kind of just showed up out of nowhere, at least in my little world. They could have been around for a long time, I don't know, but in my little world, they just popped up, and I've really been a fan of seeing what they've been coming up with. So,
Ah,
yeah.
yes, I do. Oh, well, I'll go ahead and link that as well because, yeah, sexiness.
You found them?
Yes.
Awesome.
Let's see here. There we go.
Yeah, I really love their art style. It's a lot of like really almost cel shaded looking stuff. Some of it, and it's simplistic but beautiful. So,
Yeah, super clean, super duper clean. I don't know what was up with that link, but anyway. So yeah, and Danny McCabe. Yes, Danny McCabe and all the art, well, the structural stuff he does with like the Aztec, influence and
oh yeah,
oh, delicious, delicious.
love that stuff.
So yeah, those seem to. Ooh, ooh. Oh, boo. Anyway, no, sorry. I saw something and
What was that?
I was like, what was? I was like, that looks really sweet. And then it was made with Unity and Blender, and I'm like,
Uh,
and my immediate thought became, I wonder if this person knows it would have been much easier in Dreams. Like I'm seeing what they made, I'm like, yeah, you could easily do that. But that's what I do with everything now.
yeah.
Is
I
just
do
like,
that with everything.
I see people creating with Adobe Medium and their Oculus, and I'm thinking, how limited you are with that tool. Like, what you could do with Dreams. And don't get me wrong, they have some things that we don't have. Like smoothing, I believe they have. We don't have that.
yeah,
Captain Morgan just recently asked me um, a question about smoothing out a sculpt, and he's been using a lot of Blender. And I said, it's just about soft blend and using, positive and negative spheres until you get it right. But yeah, that would be kind of a neat thing. I don't know if that's possible even in Dreams Engine, um, but other than that, I don't know how much Oculus Medium has that we don't, and the fact that we can add animation and sounds and everything else. I mean, just sets it apart.
Yeah,
yeah.
it outweighs smoothing by a mile.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Uh,
in gameplay, logic, all that stuff they can't do.
yeah. And I I want to talk with the Dreamiverse real quick because I want to do a different type of podcast episode, and it's gonna be absolute hell for the audio listeners, but
Uh-uh.
I want to try to do, now that we do everything through Discord, I want to try to do a podcast where we have guests on who want to come on and try to explain a specific aspect of dreams, but also be able to stream it with us so we can see them working within dreams.
So fun fact, I actually I planned to do that a long time ago and it just fell through. I was gonna call it debating creating, but it never happened. So yeah, I was gonna have people on and just have them teach something that they're specifically good at. So I love the idea because I don't have to do it. If you do it.
He's like, yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, you do it.
yeah, please, because I love the concept.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't have the time.
like a dreams workshop.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
Like I said, I mean, trying to find a way to where it's not absolutely horrible for the audio listeners of the podcast is going to be weird, but I really would
I
like
don't
to
think
try
so.
I hope.
As long as they're explaining what they're doing in enough detail, I think it should be fine because obviously the listeners of the podcast know dreams and they know how these tools work. So providing that the explanation is done to in a nice detailed way, I think it could be pulled off across nicely. It all depends on the person doing the actual video.
Yeah, and I think that if with you two there to chat along with them
Yeah,
while they
like
create to keep things moving, I don't think you'll have any problems there.
yeah.
Well, this
I
is
like
what we
it.
need.
Definitely down to try it.
So, I've had the idea. Now I need the people who are comfortable enough working on camera.
Oh, you should have asked me ahead of time. We could have done it today. It's already
I
here.
I thought about it. I honestly thought
You
about
should have
it.
said at the beginning, hey, I would have done it on the fly.
Uh, well, so now, like I said, we will once again have Notre back. As we said, we'll have
I guess
anybody
so.
on at
Next time.
any time. But yeah, I would love to have people on and just we can capture their screen as well as the images or the video cams of all of us talking, and we can just go through and have someone teach something that they think people don't understand or get within dreams. And so keep everybody that's listening or in the now or in the future or on audio or wherever, if you want to be that person to do like a little dreams masterclass, that would be fantastic.
Especially like for particular techniques that we see a lot on Twitter, and a lot of people ask, like, oh, how do you do that? Like, what's the process? Like, for particular things like that, I think it would be extremely beneficial to the community to see like a live demonstration while we're asking questions. Like, they just go, oh, well, you do this, and then we can deep dive and say, okay, well, how did you get to that point to do what you're doing? It's like really dig into it. Like, I think it'd be cool.
One of my favorite times in dreams have been teaching people different things. Like Danny Kaka, he's done quite a few sculptures now, but his first sculpture, I was right there in chat telling him, voice chat, telling him, hey, this is what you should do, and like try this, follow along. And what he did was he did the picture-in-picture on the PS5, so he was able to see my work while he was working, and I just guided him through it step by step. And he seemed to get a lot from it. So. And I feel like anytime you teach something, you're always learning a little more, better understanding it as well. So I think that's awesome.
Then yeah, y'all have heard the challenge. If you're on our Discord, just say you want to be the first one to try it, and we'll work it out.
Yeah.
There'll probably be some problems the first run.
Naturally. It
Naturally.
wouldn't be the Made in Dreams podcast if there wasn't issues.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to do something kind of like that, but I wanted it to be because I didn't have the time or to do something like what we just talked about. I'm planning on maybe doing something in the future because I've been trying to stream a little more, but with somebody that's another maybe like an artist in dreams and just have us both like doodling along through dreams, you know, where everyone can see both of our creations at the same time and we're just chatting back and forth while we're just making something that's no pressure, a little bit of fun, kind of like the 30-minute challenge, maybe like in an hour, see what we can make together.
Yeah.
Be kind of neat. So Magma and I had talked about it a little bit, so maybe that'll happen down the road.
The more, the
Just
merrier.
little
The
doodle
more we
shit.
can, the more we can show people how things are done. I think will make the creation process so much more easier for people to understand. Like, because Media Molecule can only do so much with their tutorials until they just have to let you get on with it and try and do what you can do. So it's up to us as the community to help each other and teach each other as much as we can to try and, are you all right, Mighty?
Whoa. Okay, I'm looking at this thing in chat, and I need the phone number to talk to whoever said that. Cram Studios. It says we got a PS5, but I'm not allowed to play Dreams on it because quote unquote there's no point if I'm playing Dreams. It's a waste.
Oh.
Is that actually something that you've been told? Because
oh boy,
yeah, that's not
or something.
Wow. It has to be because that's a
statement.
That's
a brother
unacceptable.
thing to say.
That's unacceptable,
That's what my
is what
brother
it
would
is.
say.
Yeah, totally unacceptable. Like,
My little brother would say the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm
Cram?
I'm a little lost for words right now.
Cram, I need to know who said this to you. If it's a mom or a dad, I'm old. Okay, I can talk to them. I can talk to parents. I can look them right in the eye. It's good, but I need to know. Them are the devil's words.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe it is his parents.
Yo,
I think like you said though, to have people do tutorials like
husband.
that.
oh, your husband.
Oh.
Husband.
Okay, well, I'm more than willing to talk. I'm not playing either. Hit me up on DMs. Drop me the number. I'm more than willing. More than willing. Just say it. Just let them know. Just let them know it's not some other dude, Just be like, yeah, guy wanted to talk to you about Dreams. He'll be calling in a few minutes. Let me know. So, I'm sorry.
He's serious, by the way. Like, he
am.
really is serious.
I am serious.
I mean,
I'm very
you get
serious.
60 FPS in the menus.
In the menu.
You don't get that on PS4.
Oh, wow.
Oh, boy. Wow.
So, anyway,
Well,
I'm sorry.
Well, Graham, you really triggered Will. You really triggered him.
I just don't see how, I don't know. Because I feel like someone could think that until you showed them what's possible. Like, I don't know. Like, if you said, hey, did you know that somebody who works in Dreams has actually done previs for a Hollywood movie? Like, if you say that to someone and they still believe that, it's a waste of time, then
Well, I think that
we might need to get you in.
That you can play Dreams, that she could play Dreams on the PS4. Why would you need the PS5? It's a PS4 game. I think that's what he's saying. Not that Dreams is a waste of time.
Well, then
I think that's the context. I could be wrong.
If that is the context, then go ahead and send him the Saku's Dream thing where he went through and showed the difference between PS4 and PS5 and how it runs. Give him that. And this is why I need it. You're keeping me from greatness. I want a divorce. That's what. That's when you hit him with it, okay? That's when you hit him with it. No, I'm just like
Cram Studios. You need to do something because Will is going to hunt down your husband. Otherwise, he's going to be knocking on that door. He's like, "Hello, can we talk about Dreams for a sec?"
Have you heard the word? The good word. So anyway, I got to get away from that. Anyway. So Notre, as always, it has been so much fun to have you.
Every time. Yeah.
And I hope you've had a happy birthday, and thank you for taking the time out of your birthday to spend with us on stream. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I figured it'd be a good day. I always take my birthday off work, so I figured I had time today.
Awesome.
Well, have a fantastic rest of your day.
Yep, I'm going to see Venom. Now. So.
Yeah, hit me back. Let me know. No spoilers, but you know what? We're gonna end off on some movie talk. We have to. I have to get it in there. Okay, so look.
Can we talk about the Matrix?
No, because I have to this. And you know what? I'm just gonna leave the Matrix out of. I'm not gonna mix things I love because I lost a lot of respect for a few people. No, I'm just. No, I told my friend hit me up the other day and was like, how come I had to find out there was another Matrix coming out from the internet? Where have you been? And I was and I was like, well, I've been a little discouraged because every time I bring up the Matrix, I got a whole bunch of negative Nancys coming at me from out of the woodwork that don't appreciate greatness. And I went off on this whole tirade, with her, and it just blew my. But no, Venom. But see, Venom, the first one.
I have issues with Venom completely.
This is my theory. Okay, well, it's not my theory. This is how I feel about people who speak of superhero movies as if superhero movies are a genre, which it is not. It's not. Every superhero exists, or villain, anti-hero, whatever, exists within a genre. But the people who speak about it like it's a genre are the people who make the worst of the superhero movies. Because you can tell the difference between someone who's trying to tell a story and someone who's sitting back like a 3-year-old being like, what would be cool? What would be cool if Venom, he was riding a motorcycle real fast. He was like, vroom, and then he like lost it, but his hand stretched out and grabbed it. That'd be cool, right? And it's like, what the hell?
Like Fast and Furious movies?
Yeah. Oh,
I have a problem with it.
I have to put another thing for Fast and the Furious, because Fast and the Furious, it's like you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting. They are their own thing.
It's just fun. Like Fast and Furious is just mindless entertainment. That's all it is. Like they lost their way after Tokyo Drift. After that, just consider the rest as just a prank. Like Fast and Furious 1, 2, and Tokyo Drift, take them seriously. The others,
I think
forget
the
about
nostalgia is what's making you take those movies seriously. They're all just super corny.
Maybe. But back to Venom though.
So,
I hate what they've done to Venom. They have literally ruined.
Have you seen 2 yet though?
No, but the first one was terrible.
Andy Serkis is directing this one, and he did Gollum. He's good with he's got a ton of experience with the CGI.
It doesn't make a difference
because Jungle Book thing.
It makes no difference. The whole anti-villain thing for Venom, it just destroyed the character for me. I'm
not here to talk about whether or not the second movie is going to be good. I just wanted to talk about the first movie because as I told y'all before, I can't talk about something until I've seen it. I will watch something that most people will be like, I'm not watching that, but I have to if I'm gonna say something about it. So Venom 1, I dislike everything they did.
Yep.
Everything.
I completely agree. Everything. It was complete trash.
The only thing is if I throw away everything I know about Venom, this is looking at it from the casual viewer, the person just going to the theater. If I throw out all I know about Venom, I understand why they did it. And the dynamic they've set up now for the character works. The back and forth between Eddie Brock and Venom, if you don't know anything. So for that reason, to most people, I get why it kind of worked for people. But the moment I knew it wasn't going to be what I personally wanted from Venom, was the moment I saw that it wasn't rated R. I knew it. I knew it couldn't.
It's better than having Topher Grace's Venom.
I can't. I see. The thing is I can't talk trash about that to an extent. Like, of course, it was horrible. It was horrible. But I can't. But I can't talk trash about it because they literally would not get out of the director's way. There was so much stuff in that movie. He had always said, Sam Raimi for those movies had always said that he would never do Venom unless it was its own 3-part trilogy of movies. And they literally forced him to shoehorn Venom in
as like a little tiny 15-minute character.
And so he was just like, nothing could go right because they made him shoehorn so much stuff that he was like, fine, just throw it all in. It's going to be terrible. And I feel like, did you ever see, I think his name is Ryan or Brian Wanton? He's the dude that played Sookie's brother on on True Blood on HBO. No? Okay. Well, there was a fan film, and the fan was the dude who directed the like Castlevania animated show on and a bunch of stuff animated for Netflix
Is that the
now.
same dude that did, like, the Power Rangers fan film?
Is it the same guy?
Like the rated R Power Rangers where they're like banging and killing and doing crazy stuff.
I mean, yeah, that was an amazing short, but I'm not sure if it was the same guy. But if it was, it makes sense.
The Punisher movie or something too.
Oh, the redux of the one with Thomas Jane, where it actually got to be R-rated. Yeah, but
So
basically,
that's the same guy. Yeah.
Okay, he did one for Venom, and that actor was playing Eddie Brock in his like rugged sense. Go look at it. I'm not going to tell you about it.
Check it
Just
out.
go look up Venom short film, and it has the dude from True Blood in it, and that is what Venom should have been. Like, if it was going to be, like, literally with the way they did that short, Venom could have had probably a fifth of the budget and been 20 times better. But that's what I want. And you can't look at everything that way. It has to be what they give you.
I never thought Carnage would be in a movie. I never thought, like, because he's been my favorite character since I was a little kid. Since the first time I seen him in the Spider-Man animated series on like Fox Kids or whatever it was. And I was like, this is my favorite. This is the best. I thought Venom was cool. Way better than Venom. Like, he was just like the Joker of Spider-Man. Had, the red was my favorite color. So he was red and he was like Venom, but more just like ruthless. And yeah,
none of which, and I think that's what this second movie hinges on for me, is how vicious will they allow it to be?
They say it's like a horror movie.
Because
I've heard reviews.
I've heard this all before, Charles. I've told y'all about how movies have betrayed me in the past with certain breakdowns. As opposed, I mean, the first Doctor Strange was supposed to be a horror film. That's what they, like, when they first talked about it, they were like, yeah, we're going to try to venture into the horror in the Marvel Universe. And I was like, oh my God, it's going to be the greatest thing ever. And then we all know what we got. And it was great.
It was a great movie, though.
It was great, but it took me a while to be able to see it as great. Because what I was sold on as opposed to what I got was different. Same with Real Steel. The breakdown I read for Real Steel was that there was a guy, a retired boxer, was going to come out of retirement to fight robots. And I was like, Hollywood is behind this? What? Give it to me. I need it. And then I see the trailer, and it's literally a dude fighting pantomime with a robot combatant. And I was like, well, that just takes all the coolness out of the whole idea for me. Yeah. It was a good family movie. It was a good father son, get them good feels. But man, I know y'all can smell my eyes. Okay, I know you can tell how serious I am about. I told y'all when I start talking movies. I just anyway.
Yeah, we need to pin this down.
But okay. I'll just say one more thing. All I'm saying is, Carnage and Maximum Carnage was where it was just like, yes, this needed to be a film, like sometime before I die. We'll see. Time's ticking. But
listen, I can't have Carnage and Cowboy Bebop be bad. So just fingers crossed that one of them's good.
I have for me personally, I have more faith in Cowboy Bebop, and that's saying a lot.
I have little faith in both of them, and I haven't even watched Cowboy Bebop. But from what I've seen of what Netflix is doing with it, I can already tell they're not doing it justice.
I just don't know. I'll wait. I wait for everything. But for me, I better see actual horror. I need to see like the character of Cassidy basically killing people. I need to see a serial killer. I need to see someone that when they become Carnage, you get the name Carnage. It's not just that they have a bunch of knives flying or sharp, pointy objects out of every angle of their back or so. I need to be able to see and feel Carnage. And if I don't get that,
I don't think you're gonna get that at all.
I don't know. Can I tell you how disappointed I was at the when I thought they were gonna pay me off in the first Venom when he bit the dude's head off, and it looked like the dude was made out of wax. That's because they couldn't show blood, and I was like, what was that? He just bit a man's head off, and it looked like the synthetic blood from Alien popped out of his body. Like what?
It's just a complete disappointment.
I digress. But
yeah.
For what it was, which wasn't what I wanted, Venom 1 was entertaining. And so we will see come
I sat in the cinema like this all the way through it. Like, what have you done? Why have you done this to Venom? Like, he's supposed to be the most dark and amazing villain, and you've turned him into a joke. You've literally turned villain into a joke.
Yeah.
Like, you've ruined the best Spider-Man universe evil character into an absolute joke, and everybody's laughing about it, and I was so disappointed. My wife loved it.
I'm just waiting for them to cross it over, and then maybe he'll get the Spider-Man logo.
No, because like the way Venom talks and stuff, he's like, "Can I eat people?" And it's just like, "Oh, please, just stop! You've killed it.
Not going away.
You've ruined it. Like you can no longer take Venom seriously anymore, and that to me has killed the character. Like, you could have went so serious with Venom and made it so cool, and you just killed it and ruined it.
As with everything, all my talk aside, I watch it because I watch everything. So, I mean, literally, we just, like I told y'all before, me and my brother, when we had the Nelms on, we just crush movies. That's like when I do finally get to just shut down for the day. That's what I do. Me and my brother just crush movies, and then crush movies and shows. That's it. So I'll watch it. I'll watch anything. So we'll see.
Ending this show with a bit of I feel disappointed now because I'm just thinking about how bad Venom was. I got so pumped when they just showed the logo and nothing else. I was like, oh, finally we're gonna get Venom time, like get him the time on the screen he deserves. And then what we got was just such a disappointment.
But has anybody been keeping up with the Disney Plus What If? Because that joint just got real.
I was waiting for it all to release.
Continuity issues, but it's still good.
Yeah, I have to binge stuff, so I've been waiting for it to finish so that I can just watch it all in one go.
Usually it comes down to whether or not I'm like, if there's a point where my wife and I are sitting around, it's like we got 30 minutes before our plans start. What are we gonna fill that time with? So yeah, it's darker than I expected, honestly.
It's good. That's actually good.
Yeah, but you know, I've enjoyed it, but it's really hit that point now. You got one more episode next week before you can binge.
Great, so I can start binging then. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be discussing that next week then.
What about Star Wars Visions? You guys seen that?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. We really needed to end the show, but I have to just say it. The first episode, fantastic. Loved the concept, loved the art style, loved the color palette. Everything about it was just bomb. I was just like, oh my god, this is exactly what I wanted from an anime style Star Wars series. You have hit the nail on the head. Whoever came up with the concept, you're a god. I love you. Episode 2, let's go. And then I realized it's Love, Death, and Robots, where it just changes to a whole completely different art style, different story, different everything, and I died inside.
Episode 2
What do you mean? Did you not know that it was being done by a bunch of different studios?
No, I thought it was just a consistent series. So when I watched the first episode, my reality of it was, oh my god, this is samurai Star Wars in this brilliant colors and art style. It's gonna be brilliant. I didn't know it was gonna be like Love, Death, and Robots. And it just,
I couldn't contain my inner weeb. I saw Japanese people and samurais and stuff. It's going crazy. Like, look. I knew what it was going to be because everybody has been trying to do it since the Animatrix, which was also done the exact same way. Same thing they did with Halo. Same thing they did with, what was it? Yeah, Halo. Then they did it with what was that? I don't know, the game that they've ruined recently, and some other stuff. It's all the same thing, but I love the studios they picked. The only thing that I think is possibly, I'm still deciding whether or not to believe it, because I haven't been able to sit down to really watch them in sequence or crush it like I normally would. But someone said you'd be doing yourself a favor watching it by taking breaks. They were like, he was like, the person who I was listening to was like, I binge everything as well. But I feel like this series, unlike anything I experienced before, actually benefits from you not being able to just continuously go through and crush it all at once. So I watched the first episode, and then the next night I watched the second episode.
Did you like the first episode?
Yes. I liked it, but at the same time,
but at the second episode,
yes,
I hated it.
I hated the second episode. I hated it so much.
I can absolutely understand why you do.
The only reason
I hated it so much.
One saving grace in the second episode, and that is Chibi Boba Fett. That is the only good thing about the second episode. The rest of it's terrible.
But coming from my perspective, where I thought the next episode was going to be a continuation from the first, and I got what is the second episode, I literally sat there like, what is going on? Where has it gone to? It's just
Have you
died.
watched them all, though? Have you guys watched them all?
No, after the second episode, I turned it off.
I watched okay, first of all,
It's
you turned it off
good.
before Studio Trigger, which should get you dragged. But I'm just going to
All right, I'll watch it
keep
tonight.
going.
I'll watch it
Very
tonight.
good.
Because
Okay.
that's just it.
One-
I mean,
have you seen them all, though, Mighty? Have you seen?
I haven't seen them all yet. I've gotten to the one after the twins.
Neither of you have seen the one. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but the one with the old man Sith
No.
with the dual wield.
You're telling me too much. That's it.
You just.
But-
That's all you need to know.
But I have faith. The only thing that threw me off about the series was when I first heard about it. There was an old graphic novel for Star Wars called Visionaries, and it told a bunch of stories that actually had to do with actual, at that time, canon. And there were really interesting stories, like a painter who kept painting things that would happen. And he knew that there was going to be an attempt on Queen Amidala's life. And so he kept trying to get to her to tell her, but no one would let him through. Like, he's just some crazy guy in a crowd. And like that story, and then the story of like the first time they showed what happened when Maul finally caught up with Obi-Wan, and like it was the first time they had shown those. And it was fantastic. And part of me wanted this to be kind of like the anime adaptation of those stories. But, I knew pretty early on that wasn't the case. So I didn't have an expectation.
Canon, right? None of the new stuff is canon, right? This Visions.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take some of it. I'll take some of it as canon because I've always said, and I know some people might hate me for this, but I've always said that one of the biggest mistakes of Star Wars was in the film form was literally just staying on the Skywalker like storyline.
Yeah.
I think with the universe they created,
they stretched that way too much without exploring other avenues.
Yeah, and so it's like that's why I think a lot of the best things having to do with Star Wars aren't in the movies. It's just go. You want to see the best movie ever done by Star Wars? Go watch the BioWare animated shorts. Those are better than every movie.
They
are
really
absolutely
They really are.
better. And so, yeah. Anyway, we've got off the point. I could sit here and talk forever, and you know it. You're trying to trap me.
Yeah.
But,
I know.
But yes, I've liked it so far. It's kind of interesting to you know what this reminds me of, Jamie? It reminds me of the Dream Samsara conundrum, where
Oh God.
It reminds me of that because you were given something that you were like, I want more of it, and then when they did give you more, you forfeit. Like
Yeah.
you just rage
I
quit
did.
everything.
Yeah, I completely like I didn't even know it came out. I remember they announced it and I was like, oh, that's gonna be sweet. And then I just logged on to Disney Plus one day and it was at the top banner. I was like, oh, Visions is out.
There it
Fantastic.
is. Yeah.
There it is. I'll just sit and watch this now. The first episode, like I said, was just pure gold. It was brilliant. Then the second episode come on and it angered me so much I had to turn off the TV and go to sleep because I was just gonna go online and start ranting to random people of how crap they changed everything and ruined it, and yeah, so I had to leave it alone. So yeah, I do. I rage quit with things. Like you need to make more Dream Samsara as well when you get time, otherwise we're gonna have words. Because that's awesome.
So yeah, but I don't know. I need time. I need time. I need time, and I need us to finish Dino for crying out loud. But no, but with that, thank you for allowing me to go into the movie area.
Yeah, we
you
got
know?
far off the dreams there.
Yeah,
It was fun.
But yeah, I have to. It's just it helps me recenter myself for the rest of the evening. But thank you everybody that joined. Thank you for all the new followers. Another thing I wanted to celebrate, and I've forgotten to bring it up like the last 4 episodes now, but right before we did the 50th episode, I got above 500 followers on my Twitch. And I'm gonna tell y'all, it's quite some growth. It's been beautiful because I had like 87. Maybe, and I would say probably 90% of those were like friends. So to see that growth on the channel, I thank you all. I really do appreciate it because it feels like, and I'll whine about this at another time, I'm sure, but it feels like hard work is paying off, which it never has in my life. So when I say I appreciate it, I truly appreciate it. Thank you. Jamie, did you have anything you wanted to add before we go? Or Notre? No?
I think I'm good. Just remember, Dreams is on sale, so spread the word, get more people on Dreams. It's cheap, it's cheerful, it's amazing, so do your part.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're out. Good night.
Bye.